Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the recap of Explosive Pro Wrestling State of Origin 2013. My name is Dean Olsen, and all of us within Explosive Pro Wrestling let you know that State of Origin was a show that you could not miss. You have no idea just how huge it was. We're going to recap some of the matches right now, beginning with the first match of the evening. It was a qualifying match for the 2013 EPW Invitational Tournament. On one side, we had the shoot fighter, Gavin McGavin, and on the other side, the twisted and demented Jared Slate. Both men traded shots in the early going. Gavin McGavin even did a springboard dive to the outside. Then Jared Slate nailed Gavin McGavin with the dust boot. 1, 2, 3, and he goes on to the next round of the 2013 Explosive Pro Wrestling Invitational Tournament. Here's what happened in the second match, dubbed the fattest match that EPW has ever seen, and that is not an understatement. The match started off with referees bringing extra mats for the outside area to reinforce the arena. That's how fat we're talking. We had Mr. Juicy Gino Gambino all the way from Victoria up against West Australian's own, the moving Man Mountain Mad Mike Massive, representing WA of course. After a little bit of chasing each other and a display of incredible unfitness and people losing their breath, eventually both competitors called for a chair each so they could sit down. This led to Peter Soares, the referee of all people, getting fed up and delivering a double clothesline. Then something I'm sure none of us anticipated or wanted to see, Gino Gambino, well, he exposed his rear end and gave Mike Massive a bare stink face. It was horrible. But then eventually, WA was victorious when Mike Massive hit Gino Gambino, Mr. Juicy, with the teabag and got the victory. The third match of the evening was a tag team matchup, a non-title tag team matchup. It was the team of Husey and Coach Adam Banks, that's Team Red Can for those of you taking notes, up against the EPW Tag Team Champions, the Entourage, Hollywood Carl Stereo, and the Prince of Perth, Jay Taylor. Now, as it was known, Coach Adam Banks has been out of action for the better half of 2 years. So from the get-go, Stereo and Jay Taylor made sure that they kept him isolated to their corner. After taking a lot of beating, eventually Adam Banks made the tag to Husey. And Husey let the Entourage have it. Carl Stereo then disposed of Coach Adam Banks. As Husey was making his way to the top rope, he then pushed Husey off the top rope, and that led straight into JT's cutter. But then, after the match was said and done, the Warship made his presence felt. He came into the ring and nailed Adam Banks with an Eye of the Storm. Once again, the Warship taking another victim within Explosive Pro Wrestling. Next up was an EPW Championship matchup. Sebastian Sander defending the title up against Hayden Zenith. Now originally it was going to be from New South Wales, Robbie Eagles, but unfortunately he injured his ankle prior to this matchup. So Hayden Zenith got the title match that he was robbed of last month. As much as Sebastian Sander nailed Hayden with his hard-hitting offense, Hayden Zenith used his speed and agility to his advantage. Then Hayden Zenith made his way to the top rope to hit Sebastian Sander with the Zenton Bomb. And out of nowhere, the Warship came to attack Hayden Zenith. Davis Storm saw red. He went charging at the Warship and inadvertently knocked Hayden Zenith, crotching himself on the top rope. That allowed Sebastian Sander to get the upper hand, nailed Hayden Zenith with the military press to spine buster, got the victory and retained his EPW Championship. Our next matchup was a huge matchup for the Smashing Machine, Chris Weiss. He went up against South Australia's own Rocky Monero. Yet again, another match of WA versus South Australia, all part of State of Origin, but the stakes were high for Chris Weiss. As you know, the owner of EPW, William Darcy, has Chris Weiss running somewhat of a gauntlet. He has to win 5 matches in a row to get an EPW title shot. If he loses any one of those 5 matchups, he is fired from Explosive Pro Wrestling. Chris Weiss even got a little bit cocky and he stopped a pin from happening when it looked like he had the match won. Rocky Monero then managed to have both Chris Weiss and referee Matt Smarkson in the corner and delivered a double low blow. This led Rocky Monero to have the upper hand as he nailed Chris Vice with some vicious elbow strikes to the back of the neck. Chris Vice then managed to get the upper hand. He nailed the exploder and eventually nailed him with a tombstone pile driver, got the 1-2-3. Now Chris Vice is only one more win away from getting his shot at the EPW Championship that he wants oh so much. But if he fails to win that last matchup, he'll be forever out of Explosive Pro Wrestling. Following that, we had an over-the-top rope 10-man battle royal with the winner going on to the next round of the EPW Invitational Tournament 2013. It was insane action all over the place in the ring. And in the final part of the matchup, Scotty Ryan went for a big dive at Koala Mask. He ducked, and Scotty Ryan eliminated himself. And that means Koala Mask was victorious in the 10-man battle royal, and he will go on to the Invitational Tournament. On one side, we had Team Victoria, Cash Money, Carlo Cannon, teaming up with Adam Brooks and Ryan Rollins. Then, representing Team Western Australia, we had Team Captain Marcus Pitt with Dan Moore and Mr. AK-47 Alex Kingston. The second the match started, it spilled to the outside area and went through the drinking section.
How do you like me now?
Things eventually got back into the ring, but it was all three members of Team Victoria up against the only standing man of Team WA, Dan Moore. But Dan Moore would not quit. He would not let Team WA lose. Dan Moore, who had just taken the beating of a lifetime, luckily managed to tag in Marcus Pitt.
Team Victoria, baby!
Marcus Pitt nailed the F5. The match was all done. But then the entourage came out and interrupted the count. Then while the referee was distracted, Jay Taylor hit Marcus Pitt with the tag team title belt. He also got super kicked by Carlo Cannon. Then Team WA got the upper hand when Dan Moore hit the TKO. Marcus Pitt hit the F5. Then Alex Kingston off the top rope with the elbow drop. Got the 1-2-3 and the victory for the first time ever. Western Australia won the State of Origin match. My name is Dean Olsen. Thank you for joining me for the recaps of EPW State of Origin 2013. You can see us live on August the 31st at Cyril Jackson Rec Center, where EPW presents Collision Course 2013. As this show has proven, you cannot miss an EPW event, so I want to see you there.